You are watching Nimasa this week, the official mouthpiece of the Nigerian maritime sector. My name is Iretiola Doyle, and you are welcome. Once again, you're welcome to our series on the year 2014 in review. Now, today, we start off by bringing you a report on an enterprise that has been adjudged the most significant in the annals of the Nigerian maritime sector. Not just because of the enormity of the project under review, but also because of the caliber of the personality that came to perform the flag-off ceremonies. In the outgoing year 2014, the President of Nigeria, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, was in Delta State to perform the groundbreaking ceremonies of Nimasa's shipyard and dockyard, as well as the Nigerian Maritime University in Okere-Nkuku. These twin gargantuan initiatives are part of Nimasa's efforts to unlock the maritime potentials of our nation. The ceremony was a sight to behold as the atmosphere in and around the hosting communities soon took on a carnival-like ambience. Our waterways correspondent, Amanda Akpan, covered this epoch-making event.
Saturday, May 10, 2014 will remain an indelible one in the annals of the Gbaramatu Kingdom and the entire maritime community in Nigeria. It was the day that the much anticipated visit of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to that community became a reality. The day also marked a significant milestone in Nigeria's journey towards becoming a major maritime nation through the landmark initiatives embarked upon by Nimasa. His Excellency Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, GCFR, was in this region at the behest of the Federal Ministry of Transport and the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency to perform the groundbreaking ceremonies of the Nimasa Shipyard and Dockyard and the Nigerian Maritime University, both in Okere-Nkuku, Warri Southwest Local Government Area of Delta State. President Goodluck also made history by flagging off activities at the temporary site of the first maritime university in Nigeria, the Nigerian Maritime University in Kurutie. Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan was accompanied to the event by the Executive Governor of Delta State, Emmanuel Uduaghan, and Willie Obianu, the Executive Governor of Anambra State, alongside other key government officials and dignitaries. In his address, President Goodluck commended the Federal Ministry of Transport and Nimasa for embarking on these massive but strategic initiatives and reiterated the commitment of his administration towards developing a vibrant maritime sector through the instrumentality of the Cabotage Act and the Nigerian Content Law.
The Ministry of Transport thank the Minister, the Permanent Secretary, and other management staff of the Ministry, and the Chairman of the Board of Nimasa, the DG, and all their team for bringing us today. Yes, for you to establish a university or any of this infrastructure requires the presidential endorsement. Without the President approving, you can't do anything. But people work to make sure that you clear the way for the President to endorse projects. And that's why I'm commending them. But with the establishment of this maritime university here, to relay here, because the issue of manpower is key. And we believe that this is a good thing to help significantly in terms of producing the required manpower for this blue economy.
On his part, the Executive Governor of Delta State, Emmanuel Uduaghan, thanked the President for citing massive projects such as the Nimasa Shipyard and Dockyard and the Nigerian Maritime University in their domain. While delivering his address, the Honorable Minister of Transport expressed his confidence that the Nimasa projects will accelerate the level of development in the maritime sector, given its desirable impact on the realization of our maritime potentials.
These developments are in line with the transformation agenda, whose objective is, amongst others, desire to move the country into the league of major economies of the world.
Finally, it was the turn of the man of the moment, the DG of Nimasa, Ziakede Patrick Akpobulekami, to address the gathering. The DG of Nimasa expatiated the vision and the prospect of the Nigerian Maritime University.
The Nigerian Maritime University is a strategic response to the perennial challenge of dearth of indigenous manpower in the sector. The university is expected to produce composite higher-level manpower for Nigeria's maritime shipping sector on a sustainable basis.
After witnessing and experiencing the hospitality and the demonstration of love to him and his administration by the people of Okorosa, Mr. President bade them goodbye and moved over to Okerenkoko to perform the groundbreaking ceremonies of the Nimasa Shipyard and Dockyard and the Nigerian Maritime University. He then moved on to commission 3 of the Nimasa boats built for the use of security services by Nimasa.
Today we are quite pleased to be a part of this great achievement that we are commissioning 3 of these boats for the use by Nimasa and the security services in partnership with Global West Vessel Specialist Limited to ensure security of our waters and protection of our coastal assets.
After rounding up official activities in Okerenkoko, the President proceeded to Kurute to complete the last leg of his momentous visit to the Niger Delta. His mission here was to officially flag off activities at the temporary site of the Nigerian Maritime University. The #1 citizen was conducted round the facilities of the temporary site, and the obviously impressed Mr. President commended Nimasa and the Ministry of Transport for the pace of work at the temporary site of the university. Before leaving Baramatu Kingdom, President Goodluck Jonathan assured the people that with the relative peace that exists in the Niger Delta region, the areas will continue to witness significant infrastructural development and progress that will ultimately enhance manpower development, job and welfare creation opportunities for the inhabitants of this region.
It's been over 10 years since cabotage came into force in Nigeria, and since then, Nimasa has taken it upon themselves to engage stakeholders within the maritime sector, not only as a means to sensitize them, but also as a feedback mechanism. One such forum took place in Lagos recently and was organized by the Ministry of Transport in conjunction with Nimasa and was chaired by the Honorable Minister of Transport, Senator Idris Umar. The main thrust of this seminar was to establish guidelines for the granting of ministerial waivers under the Cabotage Act. We have that report for you next.
The Coastal and Inland Cabotage Shipping Act 2007 gave the Minister of Transport the overall responsibility of making regulations and policies for the implementation of cabotage regime in Nigeria. The emphasis of the act was to ensure that indigenous ship owners take charge of the coastal and inland shipping business in Nigeria. It was also a measure taken to improve on employment opportunities for Nigerian trained seafarers. Over 10 years after the passage of the Cabotage Act 2007, it seems not to have achieved the original objectives for which it came into law. It was for this reason the Minister of Transport, Senator Idris Umar, met with stakeholders for their contributions and formulating guidelines for granting ministerial waivers on cabotage.
We do recognize the fact that in the course of the implementation of this act, a number of inadequacies have been observed, a number of inadequacies have been recorded, and therefore we felt that it was necessary to call the attention of all stakeholders to come and rub minds, to look at a draft policy guideline that were brought out so that together we'll have a better working document.
The Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa, as the nation's maritime regulatory agency, is empowered to implement the Cabotage Act. The Director General, represented by the Executive Director in charge of Maritime Safety and Shipping Development, Captain Ezekiel Bala Agaba, acknowledged that challenges are encountered during the implementation of the Cabotage Act. He promised stakeholders to make positive contributions towards improving the guidelines concerning the granting of ministerial waivers.
Nimasa has experienced several challenges in the enforcement of the Cabotage Act 2003. These challenges have prompted this review as envisaged by the Act. It is in the light of the above that I'm commending the effort of the organizers of this forum for providing a platform for all the primary stakeholders to come together to interact, share perspectives, and chart a common course.
The Executive Director in charge of Cabotage Services in Nimasa, Barrister Callistus Nwabweze Obi, called on stakeholders to be objective in their contributions.
The intention here is not for us to come and grandstand. It is not for us to come and pontificate. What we're here to do is to tax ourselves collectively so that we can come out with something better and beneficial to the economy.
The various stakeholders who had the opportunities to make contributions presented strong cases why changes should be made in the guidelines of granting ministerial waivers.
These monies that's being made in maritime industry is moving out of the country on the basis that we don't have capacity. Therefore, if it is the capacity that we don't have that is the evil, then let there be that reform. We need a reform that can empower Nigerians to build ship. In agriculture, for example, there are waivers. When you bring equipment that are for agriculture, you don't pay customs. There are some fees that you don't pay. Therefore, what's happened? Why is it that it cannot be applied also to maritime industry?
In his final remarks, the Transport Minister, Senator Idris Umar, appraised the stakeholders' contributions and reiterated President Goodluck Jonathan's commitment towards transforming the maritime sector.
Now, for the really smart people who are avid viewers of our show, Nimasa's resolve to promote interagency cooperation will not come as news, as this formed the core tenets of the agency in the year 2014. It is therefore not surprising that Nimasa played host to several government agencies as well as corporate bodies. One such visit was a courtesy call paid by the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Shippers Council, Barrister Hassan Bello, to the corporate headquarters of Nimasa in Apapa recently. Barrister Hassan Bello commended the DG CEO of Nimasa, Dr. Ziakede Patrick Apoblukemi, on his visionary leadership and his dedication to the service to the nation. Our waterways correspondent, Amanda Agban, has that report.
As agencies of government under one umbrella body, the need to synergize for effective delivery of different mandates and responsibilities cannot be overemphasized. For the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa, and the Nigerian Shippers Council, the robust relationship over the years has brought tremendous development to the Nigerian maritime sector, as both agencies are headed by individuals who have the passion, capacity, and desire to create an enabling environment for the nation to be recognized as a shipping hub in Africa and beyond. The meeting started with the introductions of members of the two agencies, after which Barrister Hassan Bello stated the purpose of the visit to Nimasa.
We come here to consult you more, to seek for your support and the cooperation towards attaining the government economic regulatory objectives in the port sector.
Recognizing the significant role Nimasa has played in the nation's maritime industry, Barrister Hassan Bello extolled the versatile leadership of Mr. Ziakede Patrick Apoblukemi and his team for the outstanding accomplishments of the agency's mandates.
We know that the task of Nimasa is enormous, but Nimasa has proven itself as a world agency it has been acknowledged and appreciated globally. It is a manifestation of a character of responsible leadership. It's also a testimony that Nigeria is blessed with management, core management who can transform their country.
Appreciating the Executive Secretary for recognizing the various achievements Nimasa has recorded under his administration, the Director General Nimasa, Mr. Ziakede Patrick Akobulakaimi, noted that dynamics in the maritime industry requires cooperation among stakeholders for desired goals to be achieved.
We have passed the era of competition. Now we are in the era of collaboration. Today, even businesses that are selling similar products are not competing, so to say, but they are collaborating in different fronts. So we can achieve all what we want to achieve through collaboration. There's nothing as competition, because the goal is to make shipping a hub in Africa. The goal is to make our ports efficient. The goal is to make revenues accruable to government to come.
With the volatility of the price in the oil sector, the need for diversification in the nation's economy cannot be ignored. To such a degree, the maritime sector would then become the frontier of the nation's economy. Therefore, agencies of government must collaborate to make appropriate contributions to Nigeria's economy.
Now, without a doubt, in the year 2014, the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa, consolidated on its capacity-building initiative with the establishment of the Science and Technical College in Okoloba, as well as the Nigerian Maritime University and the Shipyard and Dockyard, all in Ukiri Nkuku. In the outgoing year, the Senate Committee on Marine Transport paid an oversight visit to Delta State to inspect Nimasa's projects in that region. Nimasa's Osage Edwards, who was part of that team, filed in this report.
Members of the Senate Committee on Marine Transport embarked on an oversight visit to inspect projects of the Federal Ministry of Transport being executed through the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa. These are the Nimasa Science and Technical College in Okoloba, the Nigerian Maritime University, the Shipyard and Dockyard in Ukiri Nkuku. It was an oversight visit that took the senators into the heart of the Delta in Nigeria. One after the other, they wore their personal protective equipment, boarded vessels, and off they went. Day one saw the senators travel for an hour by boat to Okoloba for the inspection of the Nimasa Science and Technical College. They arrived to a grand reception where the community had gathered in their numbers to give the senators a reception they deserve. In his welcome address, the community chairman, Bowe Bokoromio, expressed the gratitude of the people to the federal government for citing the institution in their community. For the Director General of Nimasa, Mr. Ziakede Patrick Akobulakaimi, the National Assembly has been instrumental in getting the project up to this level.
We are appreciative. We know the role you have played in getting us to this level, and we are going to continue to count on your support for all the future development projects that concerns this science, Nimasa Science and Technical College. For the community, we are also appreciative that you have given us, you've given the Senate Committee, the distinguished senators, the desired welcome. And this is what we expect from you going forward.
For members of the Senate Committee on Marine Transport, the oversight visit has highlighted the need to continue in their support for Nimasa until the project is completed.
Anything that is being attracted to this community, we want to crave the indulgence of all of you to protect it jealously. It is your own, and it is for the upliftment of this community. Don't allow anybody to toy with it. Guard it jealously.
At the temporary site, the team inspected the classrooms, administrative block, laboratories, and the hostels. The school principal was on hand to take them round.
One of the major events that held in the year 2014 was the Chief of Naval Staff Annual Conference that took place in Lokoja, Kogi State. Now, this event drew attendance from the top brass of the nation's armed forces, as well as prominent stakeholders within the maritime sector. The DG and Chief Executive Officer of Nimasa, Dr. Ziakede Patrick Akpobulukemi, was represented at this event by the Executive Director, Maritime Labour and Cabotage Services, Barrister Callistus Wabeze Ubi. While delivering his paper, Barrister Ubi reiterated Nimasa's determination to work with the relevant agencies to foster maritime activity as well as ensure safety on our nation's waterways. Now, that report will come to you after the break.
Nimasa this week, the authoritative voice in the maritime sector.
The Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency Nimasa has been in the vanguard for the development of inter-agency relationship amongst government ministries, parastatals and stakeholders for a concerted approach to issues bordering on national development. This the agency has demonstrated in the area of securing our maritime domain through the existing MOUs with the Nigeria Air Force and the Nigerian Navy. These collaborations have contributed immensely to the stem of criminal activities on our waterways. This disposition has no doubt earned Nimasa general commendations from all and sundry. The need to forge inter-agency relationship was pushed to the front burner last week during the 2014 edition of the Chief of Naval Staff Annual Conference in Lokoja, Kogi State. The Director General and Chief Executive Officer of Nimasa, Mr. Ziakede Patrick Akpobulukemi, who was represented at the forum by the Executive Director, Maritime Labour and Cabotage Services, Barrister Callistus Nwabeze Obi, reiterated Nimasa's determination to continue to work with relevant agencies to promote shipping development and guarantee safety of lives and properties on our maritime domain.
The stability and efficiency of Nigeria's international trading systems, which shipping constitutes a key component, as well as the sustainable inflow of foreign capital and technology in oil and gas investment, to a large extent depends on the performance of our security authorities and relevant government agencies. However, in recent years, reports on incidents of armed sea robbery has gradually reduced in our coastal areas due to enhanced capacity in the provision of operational platforms.
The panel of discussants jointly agreed that information sharing and the enhancement of interagency cooperation can only be optimized if all the stakeholders looked at issues from a big maritime picture. While giving his closing remark, the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral U.O. Jibrin, pledged the resolve of the Nigerian Navy to continually defend the territorial integrity of the nation and urged other agencies to emulate Nimasa by formalizing their relationship with the Nigerian Navy.
The Constitution provides that the Navy is to assist in enforcing customs laws, of course, immigration laws. Believing on that, the Nigerian Navy can say to have performed its statutory role much better than one would expect. I think I will only suggest that the custom and other agencies may need to imbibe a procedure adopted by Nimasa, whereby whatever assistance that is to be given to the Nigerian Navy can be built in their budget.
The Chief of Naval Staff Annual Conference is an intellectual discourse organized to interact and proffer solutions to the security challenges in the Nigerian maritime domain and the Gulf of Guinea.
And so we come to the end of this week's edition of our show. As always, we hope we kept you educated and informed. Now, two things before we close. Nimasa this week is interactive. We want to respond to your questions, your comments, and yes, even your criticism sometimes. All you need to do is send an email to the address currently showing on your screen. Now, secondly, and more importantly, it's the beginning of the year, the right time to begin to look out for bigger and better prospects. And we tell you, Nigeria's maritime sector is a gold mine of opportunity. What you need to do is to keep a date with this show, same time, same station every single week, and we will give you insight as fast and as soon as it's happening. Now, I'm going to be here. Now, let's remember, in the year 2015, safety and security should be our watchword, not just on our airways and motorways, but also on our waterways. Once again, this is Iretiola Doyle signing out till next week. Goodbye.